Yes, I've been involved with cover crops. We planted cover crops with an incentive from the NRCS and through the CSP contracts that we were previously in. And so we've been in and out of cover crops, mostly in, but this year we did not have any cover crops. The very first year we did it was with the CSP contract, and we planted rye on soybean ground, and it was actually 2012, if my memory's right, and we actually had to irrigate that rye up. And in the spring of 2013, it looked really good for the conditions of 2012, and we killed that cover crop a week before we planted, or 2 weeks before, and it worked wonderful. We had a foot of growth, couldn't see the gauge wheels on the planter when we were planting into dry, dead rye, and got a pretty heavy rain 10 days after we planted and no erosion. It worked really well where the neighbors' fields had some ditches cut in it. Very happy, had perfect emergence on the corn. I thought this was the next best thing. But then we had issues the following year. We did the same thing the following year, and evidently we didn't get the cover crop terminated at the right time. We had emergence problems with the corn, and that was the first bad experience I had with it. Yep, that's exactly right. If you go back to 2012, it was an early fall. We got the growth on the rye up early. It was warm. And we haven't had warm falls in the past where we don't get the growth, we don't get that benefit. I don't think we get the benefit in the fall. Terminating it has always been an issue. The first few years I terminated myself, and I had better results than relying on someone else doing it for me. So that it comes back to a labor issue and time. And very much timing and management and weather factors that you can't control. Okay, labor to get the cover crop in is always a struggle. I farm with my son and some part-time help during harvest, and in the spring, part-time help. But yeah, the fall seeding is your priority is getting the crop out, not to plant a cover crop. It's a struggle because it takes time, more time than you think. And so we struggle with that, and we would like to try to interseed into the growing crop, and I've done that one time with an airplane flying rye on and soybean ground, but it was really spotty. The coverage of the airplane was real spotty. You had beautiful areas of green, and then you had zero coverage. So you don't gain all the benefits if you don't have a full coverage. So back to the labor, yes, we're always struggling, especially in the fall, and in the spring it's more of a you got to have the right week of warm temperatures, and then your mindset is on planting. So, and I've only done cover crop on soybean ground going into corn. So, well, obviously for equipment to get cover crop planted, it's a tractor and a drill is what we use. An air seeder, the same air seeder we use to plant our soybeans. We used in the covering but it takes a seed tender also, a pickup with the seed tender. So it's almost like going back to planting in the spring. You need a dedicated tractor, drill, seed tender, pickup, just the full gamut of everything you do in the spring almost.
And do you have a free tractor at that point in time out of the year?
Generally not, because how we've done it in the past, we unhook a grain cart. Our second grain cart tractor gets unhooked and gets hooked onto the drill, and then you're short a tractor. So.